Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Think Business. Looking forward to talking with Daniel Allen with Soul Expansion. Daniel, it's great to connect with you. We got connected in such a interesting way. I had interviewed the drummer of Tears for Fears, and you were trying to get a letter to him, and I just kind of became the conduit. So it's exciting to have you on the show today. You're a writer, speaker, spiritual and emotional counselor with a focus on relationships and advocate for love and raising consciousness, and the lead partner of Soul Expansion, an innovative spiritual emotional practice that bypasses common bottlenecks faster than traditional therapy. You know, on this show, I'm a business coach, and what I do is work with successful people to get them unstuck and grow their business and get to their highest potential. And I always love bringing on guests who can assist in that journey of getting people unstuck. And so I really want to jump into talking about the common bottlenecks that you're seeing, especially in today. And as we're doing this and recording it August 16th, 2022. What are the bottlenecks today of an individual?
Well, let's just be clear. It doesn't matter whether it's a personal or professional relationship, they're relationships.
Yeah.
And you're the one always showing up in those relationships. So if there's any common denominators in multiple relationships that you carry, it's probably you.
Yeah.
The common bottlenecks haven't changed since the beginning of humanity.
Yeah.
I would say the biggest culprit is our ego. And so often I'll refer to, my human self and my spiritual self, or my ego, my essence, or my daily self, my divine self, my little I, my big I. So I use them sort of synonymously. But when you get down to it, it doesn't matter if it's a personal relationship with your spouse, your children, friends, or even in the workplace, it's going to come down to the willingness, the openness is a virtue, to not have a need to be correct and to choose love over that. And because of our brevity of time, but there's a wonderful anecdote that I'll share if we ever get the opportunity and deepen the topic. But when you get down to it, you get two choices in every interaction. You get to choose to be correct, or you get to choose love. You cannot equally choose both.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to, no matter what. So it's really getting out of your own way, and more importantly, not even having a need to be in your way.
Talk to me about getting out of your own way. I see that a lot. So many people are just in their own way. How do you recommend people, begin to get out of their own way?
First of all, let's acknowledge you, because that's all that you pretty much do as a business coach, is help people find where they're stuck. Yeah. And most of the time we're stuck. We're the ones who drove into the mud.
Yeah.
And so this scenario, if we carry that analogy, is most of us, when we get in the mud, we kick, we swear, we blame the mud, we do everything that we can, with the exception of, oh man, I'm the one who took myself off course. How do I get out of this?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's a need, again, as I was sharing, to be correct. Because if I can assign that blame, if I can put myself in a position of being correct or being a victim, and then somebody else has wronged me or some other circumstance has wronged me, then I don't have to be accountable and shift out of it. I can wait for some other solution. And that's what I would say is, really, you've got to be willing to just put all that blame aside, all that need for something external, and just say, how did I bring myself here? Because that is the only way I can sort of get back into reverse gear, get out of it, and move forward.
Yeah, let's talk about that journey of looking in the mirror, not pointing fingers, really taking full ownership, right? That's what full ownership, full accountability. Talk about maybe a tool that can help people raise their awareness, in that in that transformation.
Sure. So radical responsibility is something that I am strong about in my work. And there's some practical steps for that. And of course, a big part of that is going to be something that you do internally soulfully. But there's just no way that we can shift what we cannot see. That's it. It's the reason it's called a car accident, not a car purpose. When we are sideswiped or there's a blind spot, we just didn't know about it. We didn't see it. So identifying those blocks, identifying those ways that you get in front of yourself and block it, is a great way. And one of the things I found, and this is key to all relationships, is It's a very big difference for me to walk in front of a mirror and see myself, which in essence is truly a reverse image of myself. But what most people do in this day and age is they walk into a fun house. And so you start asking for feedback from people who really, unfortunately, are often projecting themselves. So one person's telling me I'm fat and short, and then the next mirror is telling me I'm tall and skinny, and I don't have a gauge for even who I am. Getting clear about who you are is a process. But once you do that, what you realize is you'll know the trusted sources, the people that are reflecting for you with honesty and love, rather than with judgments and criticisms. When you have that knowledge, it starts to provide you a lot more sense of self-realization or actualization to know where those areas of focus are for you to step into. One thing I often find that's extremely humbling for me, and there's a multitude of exercises that I use and also share in my practice. One is soul gazing with myself. Most people are very uncomfortable when they start soul gazing with another person, where they just look into their eyes for 30 seconds, a minute, and don't say anything. Most people can't actually hold the line of sight. But what I have found is if I just sit in my bathroom and look in the mirror, and I'll just sit there and I'll just look in my own eyes, it's quite humbling to recognize there's something going on behind all of this. And then to remember that the life you're living is extremely important, and it isn't. Don't take it all too seriously, because at the end of the day, we have one star in our solar system, the sun, of which there are 100 billion stars in our galaxy, the Milky Way, of which there's 100 billion known galaxies.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, let's still keep some perspective that I am here on a journey of soul. I'm here to walk through this life to refine myself, but I can't do that if I'm not willing to see myself. So it all keeps coming back to accountability. Is that real strong sense and that radical responsibility. Somebody wants it, they'll get it. I do this great exercise for commitment. I'll share it if you want. If not, we can skip it. But I do a great exercise for commitments for people to demonstrate their level of commitment. And it's quite shocking when we do it, but very consistent. Would you like me to take a minute to share it?
Sure.
So in the 15 years that I've had my practice and been doing workshops, it's never failed, whether I do it in a personal setting, a professional setting. Whether I've got 10 people in a room, 100 people in a room, it doesn't matter. The ratios are always consistent. So I'll get everybody in a group. Again, it doesn't matter if it's 10 people, 100 people. And I'll ask them where they are. We'll clear out the room so there's no chairs, nothing. And I'll ask them just to take a moment, close their eyes, and just center themselves with something they believe they're committed to. And then I'll ask them to pick a space in the room that represents that commitment to them. It could be the door, it could be a picture on a wall, it doesn't matter. Whatever represents that commitment to them. And then I'll ask them to go. They have exactly 1 minute to go to that. So people start walking around, everybody goes through the commitment, and they're having a little chuckle. And then I'll ask them to go right back to where they were. And I'll repeat the exercise, but this time I'll divide the room in half. Half the people are an obstacle to the other half. You can't touch them, you can't restrain them, but you can't make it really easy either. And what's amazing after 15 years of doing this exercise is that when it starts, you'll see some people that have taken literally one step from where they were. You'll see some people that when they start to get blocked, they give up on it. And then you'll see some people make it to wherever they were and having fun along the way as they're being blocked by somebody else. And when it's complete, what I tell them is, you've represented your level of commitment to whatever that commitment was for you. If you took a step, it tells me you're not willing to go very far for your commitments. If you gave up easily when you were blocked, tells me that you're not willing to move through those obstacles to get what you want. And this is a real thing. And when it comes to wanting to really live your best life and know who you are, you've got to be committed to it.
Yeah.
Any hesitation and it doesn't work.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
And that's leadership as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Same character traits.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks for walking us through that. Quick speed run for you. And I know you guys do a ton of stuff. There's, probably hours of stuff that we can talk about, but quick speed run for you. Book that's had the biggest impact for you, Daniel.
Oh my gosh. Probably The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah, such a good one. Best piece of wisdom you've ever received.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, walk through this world with love and kindness.
Yeah.
And I know it's cliche, but when you really understand what love is, it's no longer a cliche.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that one. And finish this sentence. Someone who is looking to expand their soul needs to.
be dedicated, devoted, and committed.
Tell everybody who your ideal clients are and how they can connect with you.
Anybody who wants to expand. So whether it's an individual, couples, families, or the workplace, people that are really looking to shift the trajectory of their lives and be more authentic.
Yeah, I love it. Daniel, I appreciate you taking time to kind of touch the surface a little bit about what you do. I know you work with individuals and couples and families and workplace and groups, and the work that you're doing with soul expansion, as we said earlier in the show, is really, really powerful. And Think Community, we talked about can you take one thing that can maybe get you unstuck? There's a lot of stuff that Daniel said today. One thing that resonated with me is just the level of commitment that you're willing to really forge ahead with. And so think about what resonated with you. And if Daniel can help you, please reach out to him. Daniel, thank you very much. I appreciate you giving us a nugget of soul expansion, soulexpansion.com. And any last words? Any last thoughts?
Yes. I think that you need to be acknowledged for your generosity and your own devotion. I watched many of the videos on the channel just to get a sense of things.
Oh, and
even as you put it, being a conduit, I would see you more as just a blessing and the serendipity and who you are to others. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Think Community, thank you very much. And Daniel, thanks, man. I appreciate it.